Now then, welcome back to Utopia Complete, where I'm playing around with Applied Energistics 2 and Industrialcraft 2. And I've recently been playing around with Applied Energistics Startup and just checking out what it takes to make the initial bits and pieces that you use in all your crafting recipes for Applied Energistics. So I thought I'd do a little show and tell about what I've found, and then maybe we'll get on with automating some little process using our first Applied Energistics system. These are the familiar things from the Applied Energistics 1, the original Applied Energistics. You've got the logic matrix and the advanced logic processing units things, right? We've got some in here. Here we go. Look, logic processor and an engineering processor, right? Now, I have tested the making of things. I've been testing the recipes and all that sort of stuff. I've spawned in all the materials that I need to test these things. And I've tested making this inscriber, right? Because I got some of these inscriber silicon presses, or inscriber presses from an Applied Energistics meteor out in World Gen. So I know that works. And I made one of these, which inscriber, let's just have a look. The inscriber cost us a couple of sticky pistons and some iron. Easy enough to make. The sticky pistons, however, that was a little bit more difficult. I ended up having to go to a Tinker's Construct Island to get some of this slime from the Tinker's Construct Island in order to make the sticky pistons. But then I just duplicated the inscriber a few times to make as many as I thought I needed for testing it out. Now, an inscriber needs a bit of power, so I set up a generator, and IC2 power generation can also power the E02 stuff, which is cool, so that works nicely. And I don't know why I've got a crafting table here, because I don't actually need the crafting table. But everything starts off with this thing called printed silicon, right? So you get a silicon press and silicon. Now, we've messed up a little bit on the silicon, right? The recipe for silicon currently is sag mill, and it's a byproduct. 80% chance when doing clay into a slag mill, you get silicon. And the same there, sand silicon. So I did a load of sand in the sag mill, and I just sort of like brought in a sag mill and a bit of a power supply to do a bit of that. And after a whole stack, I got about 4 silicon. Now, the real way you're supposed to do it in Applied Energistics 2 is just burn Certix quartz or nether quartz dust in a furnace. But there's some conflict in our pack right now which we're looking into as to why this will not work. It's a thing, it should work. So you'll see that you can just cook it and turn it into the silicon that you need. But I've had to cheat in a bit to be able to do this testing. But I tested a couple of methods, and yeah, now we've got it. So, first off, the inscriber silicon press and silicon makes a printed silicon plate. Let's get some silicon. You can only place these things in one at a time. But the inscriber silicon press and the silicon and a little bit of power generates a printed silicon. And that is the first bit, okay? Then you move on. Let's say you wanted to make the first level, which is that gold one, which is the logic processor. Then you get a logic press. So the logic processor needs a logic press. And that also requires gold. So let's put a piece of gold in there. And that, with a bit of power, will turn it into a printed logic press. Or printed logic circuit, should I say. Right? Then you take one of these and a redstone, and you put it into the inscriber again, and I'm not sure if this makes any difference which way around those go, but the redstone goes there, and it starts making the logic circuit and the silicon together to make the logic processor in the inscriber. So technically you could do all that in one inscriber. I just feel that I want to be able to automate this at some point, so I'm separating them out. So that gives us that one. The calculation processor is done using an inscriber calculation press, and some pure Certis quartz. Now there is charged Certis quartz and the other Certis quartz, but the pure Certis quartz is the only one that works to make an inscriber calculation press turn Certis quartz into what you need, which is one of these printed calculation presses. And it works in exactly the same process. I've tested it out over here, yeah. A calculation press and one piece of Certis quartz, pure, and a bit of power, and that turns it into this that you need. There you go. Right? And exactly the same again, you take your printed silicon press and a printed calculation circuit and a piece of redstone, and that ends up making one of these calculation processors, which is like the second tier now. There used to be just 2 tiers, and now we've got the second tier. And in this one over here, we've got an inscriber engineering press, and this is the one that uses a diamond. And you put a diamond in, and with a bit of power, after a little while, yep, you guessed it, it's going to make us a printed engineering circuit. And when we put the printed engineering circuit along with the redstone and a printed silicon, we end up with an engineering processor. Okay, so all of that's working nicely. I've got that all working pretty good, so I can do everything there by hand, but now I know it's all working, I'm not going to mess about making them too often. I'll just get them when I need them. And then we've got things like, well, actually, an important part of this was that you need pure Certis quartz, right? And you don't find pure Certis quartz. You've got to grow pure Certis quartz in this. So down in here, in the little basement production area, I have got some Certis quartz growing in this water. Let's take a piece. Right, so this is 65%, and that has taken forever. That's taken a very long time of me being standing around here, and also of other people being on the server close by. They've also loaded this chunk, so the process has been going on. 64%. Yep. And all that is a piece of this, a piece of that, and a piece of that thrown in here. So let's take these ones out. Let's put these in over here. Let them out. Oh, actually, no, that's wrong. What am I talking about? That's actually ground down dust that you put in there. Let's check that out. The pure Certis quartz. Oh man, there's been so much to learn. Let's see. Recipe for that. Have I got a recipe for it? Drop a Certis quartz seed made from Certis quartz, dust and sand into a puddle of water. To make it grow faster, add crystal growth accelerators. So it was Certis quartz dust, which is here, and sand, which I've got downstairs, into the water to make a seed. I think that's how it works. This is my little sand generator down here. Let's get one piece of sand, and then the noisy thing can start again. You put it together and you end up with 2 Certis quartz seeds, right? And then you just throw them Certis quartz seeds into there, and they start the long process of growing into pure Certis quartz crystals, right? And I think these pure Certis quartz crystals can pretty much be used for anything that normal Certis quartz can be used for. Yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think that this can be any Certis quartz, but the pure works just the same. I think that's the case. Maybe in some cases you need it for that particular crafting recipe. But there you go. Oh, and also, you could repair these gem shears with it. But these gem shears from Whitecraft, we've found that you can pretty much put any item in the game in there. You can put a bit of fish in there and repair the shears. It's a bit odd. Very OP shears still. But this little setup here, the Certis quartz, nether quartz, and redstone, the charged, when you throw them in, you get a virtually instant process. You see the little crackling going on in there. It means that something's happening. I think that might be the charged in the waters doing that. Throw a bit of redstone in, and poof, there we go. We get this flux crystals, right? Flux crystals. and flux crystals. You can grind the flux crystals down. Let's do it in here. You can grind a flux crystal down. Noisy. I put little things here as well, like sound mufflers, and they don't seem to be doing any good. Right, let's put that back down. Yeah, virtually no difference whatsoever. Right, and that makes the flux dust. Okay, so I'm pretty confident that I've got pretty much all of the types of materials that we're going to use to make things. I mean, basic quartz fiber is Certis quartz and glass, and that's used for making the flux cables, wireless receivers, repairing the shears, yeah, all of that sort of stuff. But the main thing that's used for is making the main part for the cables. So I've got a thing that I've spotted on the internet. In fact, Lewis showed me this on the internet the other day. I think it's one of our subscribers. I'm not 100% sure who exactly. It's John Hemley. You probably know who you are, John, if you're watching this, that is. He's done a little setup for doing, doing this flux crystal process, right? And I wanted to see if I could set that up down here somewhere to automate creating the flux crystals from these, and also potentially making the seeds. So we've got a fair bit of stuff that I need to create or spawn in to make sure that I've got everything I need to test this out. So bear with me and I will get started. Right, so as you can see, I've grabbed in a fair bit of stuff that John Hemley was using in his video. I'll put the video link in the description so you can have a look, see what he did and how he did it. Now, this is using extra utilities and refined relocation. So it's all good if you've got those in a mod pack with you, but I would like to do it this way first, just to see how it works, and then work on maybe an automated AE system version of it. That's my plan. That's what I'd like to do, right? But in order to use any AE system now, we need power. And I can generate power from IC2, but I need to have an energy storage cell to convert that into the AE power. So flux crystals around quartz and some charge crystals. Easy peasy. So we got some flux crystals, some charge crystals, and I've got a setup here for quartz glass. So energy cells, easy enough. I might take a couple now while I'm making them, just because. So the crafting recipe, that works fine. That's checked. That's good. All right. And we're going to need some bits and pieces to make the AE system physically run. So we're going to need some cables, which is the cable in. That's the cable there. This one. It's all mixed in with so many different colours of cable now. There it is. That one. All right. So flux cable is. Have I got this? Flux cable is 2 of the flux crystals and some glass and one of those in there. Okay, that's pretty cool. Right, have those back. So we'll get a few of these and we'll set those up in the next one over here, like that. And it's going to take a couple of these, did we say? Yep. A couple of these. Yeah, and then a load of glass. Did I pick up a load of glass? No, let's get a load of glass. I'm not cooking glass in front of you, thank you very much. I will just grab a stack of glass. Right, and glass can go in there. There we go. And then we can have a couple of cables to go with that. Right, we're also going to need a terminal for it. So back to applied, we're going to need to test out the terminals that you can now attach to these cables. They're not full-on big blocks anymore. They're now little terminals that are close by. So I'm going to need a crafting terminal, maybe. But there's a pattern terminal as well. The pattern terminal, I think that's a bit like a crafting terminal as well. But I'm going to choose to make a blank pattern and make a pattern in a minute, so I may as well figure this one out. So we need an engineering process and a crafting terminal. Okay, and for that we need a terminal and a calculation process. And for that we need some dark illumination panels, logic processors and formula. Wow. Alright, so we may have everything we need. I think I've got everything I need for now anyway. Let us see. Right, so we've got... We're going to have a water source. Let's put the water source above a chest. Actually, I need a second chest. Let's get another chest. Alright, so the output chest, the final chest. Do I want it over here? I kind of just want to build it first and then I might move it around afterwards. Right, we've got a final chest. And on top of the final chest, this is the way John did it. It's got a filter hopper on top of that, right? And this is going to be filtered to Flux Crystals. So we shift right click it and put in Flux Crystal. Okay, so whitelist only Flux Crystal. So now if I throw, say, that up there, oh, let's see. If I throw this on there, it won't go in the hopper, right? But if I throw that on there, it'll get sucked in by the hopper. So the end result is that only the Flux Crystals will go into that hopper and down into this chest, right? So we're going to have, let's do a bit of cobblestone messery. Let's put this there. There we go. Right, and we need to put the dropper in as well. So the dropper's going to go... well, actually, messed that one up, didn't I? Let's put this up here like this. Let's put a block behind there, and let's put the dropper facing into this. Is that going to work? Dropping it straight into the water like that? It's a slight modification on the design. It's supposed to drop into water, but we'll try it that way anyway. And then we'll put the water inside it. Why is my bauble not working? Baubles? Now it's working. I think since Alzanar messed up the baubles, Vazki had baubles working perfectly in Princess Edition, and now this set of baubles just doesn't seem to be working quite right. Alright, so we've got that dropper, okay, and I want to put a timer on that dropper so that it's a constant tick. Right, so it's going to be constantly taking the stuff that we need out. So if I put like redstone in there, it'll fire it out into there, okay, and the hopper won't take it. Right, the thing that we're doing is taking these 3 items and dropping them into this water, and as soon as they turn into Flux Crystals, it's going to pull down into the chest. Okay, now that's genius. That's genius on its own, using these filtering hoppers. I want to find an applied Energistics solution to using this instead of that though. But the redstone clock, there's not really a lot I can do other than a vanilla redstone clock, and we've got extra utilities in the pack, so we may as well use it like that. Right, so the next up is to get the items into this dropper that we want. Okay, now I think that this interface will drop directly into the inventory next to it when you give it something to use, as it were. Alright, but we need to give it a pattern first, so we're going to put some let's just do a bit down here like this. Yeah, let's put one of these energy cells there, and let's get ourselves one of these generators. I don't think I need all these generators, and they don't break into anything other than a generator. I don't need a special spanner for it. There we go. And then I should put that into there. That should build up some power, and hopefully that energy cell will also receive the power. Or maybe not. Now that's a thing that I'm not 100% sure on, how to transfer the energy directly to the energy cells. Ah, there may be an item that I need to go in between. Just a second, and I'll figure that one out. Yeah, there is. It's an energy acceptor. I'm guessing that's what it is. Some iron, some quartz glass, and a flux crystal. So I've got the iron somewhere. Yeah, I just need the glass. So let's get 4 glass. And then we should be able to make one of these guys. Not a matter condenser. Energy absorber. That's it. Take one of those. And I think an energy absorber's right. If not, I've just made one anyway. But I think that would take the energy from another power supply, like that. So that generator just kicked back in, and it's emptying out into the acceptor. And so the energy cell may now be taking the energy from the acceptor. Maybe. There's no interface on this energy acceptor thing, though. But it is taking all the energy it can take, and that's the only place it can store it. So let's put a pattern terminal on there, may as well for now. Pattern terminal on there. Have we got actual power access to it? I guess we have. Looks like it. Yep. It does. It looks like it. Okay, so we put the blank patterns in there as normal. It does give me access to all of the items in my AE system as well, so it is kind of a storage monitor. I wonder if it's a crafting monitor as well, though. Whether I can take... No, I can't take. I can't take. Oh. I made these sound mufflers for this stupid thing. Shut that up. Okay, that's good. Much better, just a nice little tick. And also that as well, actually. Let's pop one over the generator. Hey, generator. Shut up. 3 mufflers and I can still hear it. Right, so the pattern that we're creating is one of them, and one of them. Right? So we're going to put all these over here and create the pattern. So we're going to tell it what these things are going to do. So that, and that will equal a pure crystal. I need a pure crystal to show it, and I've just used my last one there. So let's throw one of them in. One of them in, and one of them in, and crackle pop, snap crackle pop, thank you. Alright, so we tell it that it's going to equal that. We tell it that it's going to equal that. That's the way it's supposed to work. Alright, I get it. You do crafting pattern, you do processing pattern, or crafting pattern. That's cool. I like that. I didn't know that was there because it wasn't the old style. But now a processing pattern. It means that this makes that in some form of process in code. So now I got this encoded pattern. Right? So I put that encoded pattern in here, and the AE system now knows to put these ingredients into there in order to make Flux crystals, and that should just keep going and making Flux crystals. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Alright, and then all I have to do is hook it up to my AE storage. So I put that onto some AE storage system, and this will now know how to make them when I ask for them. So at the minute it's just banging out as many as I can put in there, which I'm going to take out now and stop it and let that catch up, and this would then take all those, and I would then potentially put some sort of storage bus on there. I might make a storage bus or a transfer node. I could use a transfer node for now and just put a transfer node with some piping going up into the thing system there, and that will just receive flux crystals in there. Yeah, take them out, put them back in there. But the AE system's got a storage bus device like that I can just pull in anyway. So that should be working. So I want to make a storage system, and the first thing I think of with a storage system is disk drives. You can use chests, and I use chests fairly regularly for certain things. I mean, a chest in the situation downstairs would mean that anything from the hopper would go straight into the chest, and then that's straight into the ME system. which is cool. That's awesome. That could be perfect. But I want to do a drive storage system, which takes 2 engineering processing units, some iron, and a couple of bits of glass cable. So not as expensive as it used to be, because it used to be a load of disk drives would make something cool like that. But that's okay. That's good. I like. Right. So we've got a disk drive. We're also then going to need some sort of access terminal, but I've got crafting terminals there, so that's cool. So yeah, I just need a disk then. I just need to put a disk in. So I'm just going to make a 1K storage disk, which is this pattern, and I need a storage component, which is like that. I can get, well, I might be able to make 2 of them, just for the hell of it, just to test the recipes working. And then we go like that, and take 2 discs. Okay, so now if I put this on here and put my 2 discs into it, if I also add on a crafting terminal, I've got to be careful of how many channels I'm using, how many things, but as far as I can tell, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That shouldn't be a channel. It might be a channel, but that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 channels. 5 things that are interacting with the world out of, I think it's 8. I'll double check that and we'll get into channels later on, but there we go. Now I've got a crafting thing. Can I store this kind of stuff in there? Yes, I can. Okay, so let's store, well, all of that in there. Certus quartz in there and all that sort of good stuff. Alright, so this currently is set up to make the seeds. So let us craft the seeds. So there's 2 there. Let's craft another 2 seeds. Done. Available to craft, missing. Missing sand. Ah, cool. It's telling me I'm missing sand. Alright, well, let's get some sand. I think I've got some more over here. Yeah. If not, I've got a bucket load downstairs. So let's put the sand in there. And now, is it going to show me what's missing again? Or has it already crafted it? That's, oh, it might not have crafted because I didn't have it. Okay. Available. Oh, there's only one available to craft 2. No crafting CPUs are available. No crafting CPUs are available. Ah, but I've got this over here. Isn't that supposed to be a thing that makes it work? I've also got this over here though, so maybe I need something in there to make it auto craft. What we got? Advanced cards, basic cards, fuzzy cards, crafting card. Right, what's the recipe for a crafting card? A basic card with a crafting table. Basic card is a calculation press. Okay, well, let's see if that works. I haven't got one there. Let's take that one then. And a crafting table. I think I've got plenty of crafting tables available to me. Yep. Right, crafting table. And righty, that's that one. Okay, so what was we making? A basic card, which is like so. I need a bit of gold. Run out of gold. Need a bit of redstone. I got the redstone in somewhere else. Oh wow, I was not expecting this. Let's get some gold. Let's get some gold bars. Of course, you guys, you'd have to mine for ages to get all this stuff. Soul gold? What's that from? I don't know. Well, this looks cool. There we go. Gold ingots. Let's get some of that. And then we can make a basic circuit. So, basic. What was it? That one there. Basic card. Right. Recipe for that. And craft. I get 2 for me money. That's not too bad. So, craft that. Put that into there. Take that out. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that does it. This is me figuring things out as I go. So that's a export bus and interface. So it's now got a crafting terminal on it. Let us try and do that crafting again. We'll craft 2 next. Storage, coprocessors, 0. I don't know what I need. I don't know what I need. That's another fail. I'm going to have to look into the whole crafting side of things a bit more. But at least you know what we're working around. I've got a cunning plan for automating processes that require those little water pools, and also using a workbench, but I don't think this is actually working in a workbench properly as such. Okay, back to the drawing board. I will see you in the very next episode of Utopia Complete after I've had a bit of more time practicing all of my ways with this new applied energistics. It will make sense to me eventually, I promise you.